Well, it's September, the beginning of September. So that means it's time for another construction update. We're here at Miami Freedom Park. We're gonna walk around the stadium, see what we can see, and give you an update on and our thoughts on whether or not they are gonna make the due date of next season, which would be late March, or be around March, right? I think that's generally late February, early March, something like that, is generally when the season starts. So let's go take a closer look from the fence. So peeking over the fence, we can see a pretty good view here. And it looks like, I don't know if they intended for this to be a water feature or if it just rained a lot. But they got a little bit of a ditch here that is now filled with water. I'm not sure if we're gonna have some water elements around for maybe rain runoff, or that's just literally rain runoff. I don't know. But here's a closer look at the stadium. Nobody is working today. It is a holiday. We are here on Labor Day weekend, actually on the Monday, so actual Labor Day, and there are no laborers working, which I guess makes sense. So I can't see a whole lot changed from when Ed was here last from the outside, other than a lot more dirt being pushed around here, kind of, making, the area that surrounds the stadium, because there is still a lot to do besides just building a stadium. And you can see here all the structures are kind of in place all the way around here for the canopy, for the rooftop. Question is, when will that rooftop be put in? My thoughts, I don't know anything about construction, but I would think that would be one of the later elements brought in, I would think. But I'm not sure, because it's going to be some sort of like tarp material, I guess. So I would think you want to put it in, after hurricane season. Just a thought. You could see throughout here they're building up the dirt. They had leveled it before, made it nice and even, and now they're building it up. Something different. It's not as exciting as seeing the actual stadium being built, but this is the infrastructure that they'll need for us to get in and out of the stadium. You could see they've got some building material here laid out next to this crane type machine. So this is all new material that they're going to be using soon. No activity today, 0-0. As we peek closer through this fence, you can get a little bit of a closer look at some of the insides of the stadium getting worked on. We're here leaning right up against the fence. Security's probably watching us, curious what the heck we're doing. But we're on the right side of the fence. Walking around a little bit more, you see this view where we can see right through. And this is going to be an open concourse. In some of the designs, it almost looked like it had something like a scrim or something covering it, some sort of a decorative thing, but it's not. It's going to be open. So that'll be interesting to see how well that roof, provides cover for when it's raining, when you're in the concourse area. So we'll see how all that works out, because if the rain's coming in at an angle, it could still come in, but it's going to look really cool when we get there. This looks like one of the entrances that you can take into the stadium, and I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that if you take public transportation, you may come in this side, because the train station is just over here on the other side of this tree. So let's take a closer look. All right. No, it's like an abandoned building. No dinosaurs sitting out here looking at the stadium today. All right, we're gonna take a quick video here on the back side. Get nice up and close before we get kicked out. There's security guards around here today. All right, and I think this is probably gonna be our last view today. You can see some metal has been added here on this side of, behind the Sheraton Hotel. but for the most part, it looks about the same all around, every angle we can see. Well, that was kind of a short video today. What do you think of the stadium progress? You know, it still has a long way to go. Not sure if I feel super confident that they'll make it for the beginning of the season. More than likely, they'll have to do like a lot of MLS teams do when they build their own stadiums and play some games on the road. Previously, I have said things like I think they could potentially stay playing in Chase Stadium for however a month or two while this is being wrapped up. But it was brought to my attention by my sales rep that that's really not an option because they're selling 25,000 seats and you're picking specific seats and there's only 20,000 could fit in Chase Stadium. So what do you tell those 5,000 people? Give them a refund? I don't know. Now there is some fine print in our season tickets for next year that says they could move us in another facility if they need. I don't think it'll happen. I think they'll probably try to do what so many teams do, and that's play on the road for a month or two. And hopefully that's all it is a month or two. Now I've heard another thought as well, and that's about parking. The parking garage potentially may not be done either. And this is just a rumor. Somebody told me about the fact that, you know, they may just end up parking people on the gravel. No different than what we currently do at Chase Stadium if you're parking in the yellow lot. So it may be a nice new stadium just sitting on gravel everywhere else for the first year. Obviously, it's a big project. It's going to take many years to fully complete it. I think 2030 is when they will start building the hotels, assuming everything goes on schedule. So I'm not super confident at this time because, I mean, I know once it gets to a certain stage, it can start moving fast. But it feels like there's not a big difference from when Ed was here last month. Yeah, I saw some dirt being moved around, but other than that, doesn't feel like a really big difference in their progress. So that's a little bit concerning. But tell us your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the stadium? Do you think it'll be ready? I know I ask the same question every update, but it's hanging over our heads. They got to finish. They got to hurry it up. I do know I've heard they're working 24 hours a day, not on Labor Day though. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.